Hey y'all, it's Justin the Turtle, and I'm so excited to be doing another sketchbook tour. My last sketchbook tour video did really well. A lot of people really liked it, including me. I really enjoyed filming that video, so I'm really excited to be filming another one finally. So I started the sketchbook in June of 2022, and so I've had the sketchbook for over a year now. This is not a Moleskine journal. This is actually a Talon's art creation journal. I chose this one because it was a cheaper option than the Moleskine. Let me show you the comparison. Oh shit, dropping shit everywhere. As you can see, this is the Moleskine and this is the journal that I drew in. The Talons has more pages and the paper quality is pretty much the same. However, I will say, I just noticed that the spine is kind of starting to separate. So if you can invest in a Moleskine, they're known for their durability, so I would recommend investing in that. But for people on a budget, this is a really great alternative. I love this sketchbook so much. The only problem I have is that it's already starting to kind of rip. But that's the only problem I had with it. I'll not waste any more time. Let's just get right into it. I know what we want to see. So let's start with the cover. Most of these stickers came from Japan. So I have my Keith Haring collection sticker, B-side labels, Ghibli Museum, Hysteric Glamour. I always used to be someone who would always avoid using my stickers because I'm like, I need to save my stickers for the right moment. But I would highly recommend using your stickers on your journals or your diaries or sketchbooks because you want your book to be approachable and fun. Just lots of really fun memories associated with these stickers in this sketchbook. But let's get to the first page. So this first page, we have a lovely pink spread of a bunch of different characters, all mainly unrelated with each other. And I kind of just let myself go crazy with drawing the things I like to draw, which are little creature designs, and I love to draw guys. I really love drawing guys. This whole sketchbook is pretty much stream of consciousness. Like, I just put my pen down and would put like a song on, or I would put like a YouTube video on, and I would just draw as I go. Everything in the sketchbook is also just original concepts that I came up with. None of this is fan art. This is my Copic marker swatches, and I don't have them right now. I left them in Japan actually, so is also why it kind of gets less colorful as the sketchbook goes on, but there's still plenty of really fun drawings and characters, regardless of whether they're colored or not. This is when Nokemon, the Pokemon generator, came out. These are just like little Fakemon. When I draw, I'm pretty messy. It kind of prevents me from getting in that perfectionist attitude, and that kind of helps me just flow a little more naturally. Here we have a spread of, the only thing I thought of was like a water battle, like a very extreme water gun fight. And so this is a concept that I had for that kind of scenario. It's with Copic markers and colored pencils. Here we have maybe my favorite page in the entire book, not just because it looks really cute and really pretty, but because I did this live. I drew this live, and I remember a lot of people commenting, and we were just having a nice little kiki when we were doing this. I was asking people like what color to do the shorts, what to name the creatures. Eventually I chose the name Esters. I forget who suggested that, but I just thought Esters was such a random name for these things, and so that's what I went with. Lovely little page of Attack of the Esters. This page is going with like the whole colorful collage of characters vibe I was feeling at the time. And yeah, just a lot of cool random creatures and random guys. You might notice a lot of my characters are not wearing a lot of clothes. I love to study anatomy, and it really helps me to like see the muscles. I really should start drawing more clothes on my characters, but I also find it to be quite liberating to see characters existing in the same space while expressing their bodies, mainly because when I was growing up, I was not very confident in expressing my body, but now I am, and I find it to be very liberating, and so I like to see characters very joyful and happy, just showing their bodies as they are. This is a self-portrait I did. I remember at this time I was like, you know what? I'm going to the gym so consistently. I look really good. This is the time that I should draw myself. Yeah, I was feeling really good about myself at the time, and so this was like a little drawing I did of myself. I heard this argument that people think it's vain to draw yourself, but I think drawing myself really helps me kind of figure out how I want to express myself. And so if you can draw yourself, I say do it. I don't think it's vain at all. I've never thought that before. Here we have just a random guy. This is all stream of consciousness. This is all stream of consciousness, as I mentioned. Just a guy, and I was just going with random characters. I was really into like cartoonified things. A lot of inspiration from like the Toon deck of Yu-Gi-Oh, if anyone gets that reference. So this page is my jeans page. I remember I went to the store, the art store, and I got grayish blue Copic markers because I just didn't have any, and I remember thinking, I just want to draw jeans. I love these colors a lot. And you will see as we go, I start to hit art block, so you'll see me in like phases of really good, really focused, and then just like lots of art block where you see the pages kind of like dissipate and fall apart a bit. You know, as artists, we don't always produce perfect things every day, so that was kind of the lesson I learned from this. This is a little pig guy I really like. Love it. I love that character so much. The rest of the sketchbook, I come up with a lot of concepts for stories, so there's lots of random characters that I'm just kind of like fleshing out the ideas of the stories, I guess. This is like a story about demons. These are all demons. And you'll see like little notes that I write. This is a separate storyline we have here. I was thinking of this idea of like these boys. I also love this drawing for some reason. I just love this drawing. This is more fleshing out of my Monster Boys concept. Just very random pages. These were guys at the airport, and this is a separate concept that I'm actually thinking about like every day. I think about this concept every day, and I'm kind of fleshing out the story as I go. I'd really love to realize it into like a manga or a story, so stay tuned for that. Here's a little more behind the scenes. I don't know if I should even show this because I don't want to like spoil everything right away, but yeah, here's some concept drawings. Look, we have an Esther here. I really love these little monsters. I see them as like the Goombas of my universe, like the basic enemies of my universe. And this is also part of this concept. I don't want to like give away too much about each story because I want them to be, you know, released when I release them. So I'm not gonna give too many names and too many details as I go. This is my fursona exploration. I was like, I don't have a fursona, so this was me exploring my fursona. I eventually settled on the pig. Turtle was like a little lizardy, so I didn't really feel it as much, but I do love these two drawings here. I think they're very expressive. Here we have some Pinterest references. Usually when I hit some art block, I will go on Pinterest. It really helps me loosen up if I draw figure poses like this. And it helps me kind of remember my anatomy and my posing and line of action and all those little principles that we learn in art school. Yes, these are more references from Pinterest. I was kind of starting to hit art block here. So I'm starting to move towards an art block era, and I'll show you guys. You'll see as we go. But here I'm experimenting with a brush pen. I was trying to come up with a villain, and I really like how this villain turned out. If you can even make out what it is, it's quite messy. I feel very liberated when I draw in a messy way. Like I mentioned before, it helps me get rid of my perfectionism, which is very toxic. I don't like my perfectionism at all. And so when I'm in my sketchbook, I like to just feel free and non-judgmental. This is going back to that Monster Farmer Boys concept that I showed earlier, which I really like. I have so many ideas for stories, but it's like, where do I even start? Here we'll see the recurring pig character. It's just kind of putting people together and seeing how the characters looked together. And then now I'm starting to hit some art block. These are Pinterest references, and I don't know. You can see me struggling to draw here, which is quite interesting to see. Here though, here's probably my oldest concept for a story that I've ever had. I have a whole universe and story in my head about these, and I'd love to realize them too. You will see these characters and more in depth about these characters. By the way, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I will be happy to answer any questions you will have. Here's full art block mode. So I did not know what to draw. I was like, I don't know what I like to draw anymore. I don't want to draw guys anymore. I can't draw. So I was like, I need to draw something. And I just drew these little like Zumbini things. I don't know what I was thinking. They're cute and endearing, but this is all I could muster up, and I just don't like it because it reminds me of a bad place, like when I couldn't draw. Here I couldn't draw either. I was referencing a lot of like Ghibli. It was Christmas time, so I was trying to get back in my groove by drawing Nutcracker characters, drawing these little toys, as we can see here. So this was all the deepest part of my art block. This is me kind of getting out of it. I was starting to draw these little mascot characters, kind of to think of how I would apply my artwork into a physical form, such as like clothing or t-shirts. That's kind of where my mind was at this time. I really love this drawing too. More art block moments, pretty messy, you can just skip over that. This is a little more art block, but like I said, when I was feeling blocked, it would help a lot to draw observationally. So I went to a cafe and was drawing people walking by. I know this part of the sketchbook is just like really dull, but this was just, it's interesting to see like me trying, like the phases of my creativity. Like I was just in a bad headspace. So I started to study a little more anatomy here, just trying to figure out how to get out of this rut. And then I came up with a new concept, which is a completely different story. Complete story, complete background. I have the whole conclusion of the story and everything, but yeah, it'll take time to flesh it out. This is kind of going back to the original like water fight world, if you remember. Water fight world where they have all the floaties. This is going back to that. Probably one of my favorite drawings of this whole sketchbook is this character. Her specialty is robotics and machinery, so she's like controlling this robot pet. I actually outlined her with a fountain pen. These are done with just a normal felt pen, and this is done with a fountain pen that you like dip the ink in. As were these. These were all done with fountain pen and ink. And I love this page so much. This was observational drawings in a cafe in Tokyo. Just drawing people walking down the alley that I was looking at. Also, it bleeds a bit here. I kind of pick and choose. I'm like, is this drawing worth bleeding to the next page? In this scenario, yes, obviously. I was like, I'm gonna color this, I don't give a fuck. This girl is probably my favorite. I just love the way I captured her puffy jacket and her proportions. So here I have a note that my friend and I were talking about when I was going through some insecurities about art and stuff, and he's a dancer, so he basically told me like I'm someone who loves to have fun, and so if I view art as work, then I'm not gonna like it. So I should be having fun when making art is basically what he said, and I had to write that down because it was very wise advice. Oh, and this is NSFW, I need to cover that up. You know. Here's some more characters. I outlined these as well with fountain pen. And this was me going back to exploring my designs as if I was going to put them on shirts. So I was thinking of little mascots and little icons. Well, I don't really have anything to say about this page. I don't think I was really thinking much. I do love this character though. Same thing with this page, just me kind of not really thinking. Here I was exploring designs for t-shirts, so I was like, maybe I could put this on a t-shirt or this on a t-shirt, but I ended up scrapping those. Here's actually, this is some lore for the characters that I'm gonna cover up because I'm gonna reveal that later. But if you recognize some of these characters, lots of characters, just characters everywhere. This is a witch, but like a grass witch. Does that make sense? Like she manipulates like plants, and she's like one with the plants and one with the earth. And then here I'm practicing some head studies. I love this drawing low-key. I was trying to get over like same face syndrome. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing to have same face syndrome. As you can see, I didn't digress very far. I still suffer from same face syndrome. Lots of bleed on this page, so I didn't focus too much on it. And then I also did this drawing live, and this was a lot of fun. I need to get back into drawing live again because it's like one of my favorite things to do. As I was doing the live stream, people were drawing too, and they tagged me in it on Instagram, and I just love the sense of community that live drawing and art brings, because oftentimes I'm drawing by myself and I'm like, oh, this is quite lonely. Like, I wish I could share these ideas with someone, and going live and having people draw with me just like really makes it so much more exciting. Oh, need to skip that page. It's not like overly NSFW, but you know, I like to express my queerness and my sexuality, so. Towards the end of the sketchbook, I'm like very much in my like fake Pokemon drawing. Here we have a lot of Fakemon designs. So my favorites are probably these two, the pelican and the seagull. And this skunk I actually drew digitally and it came out really good. I love this drawing. And my fake Eevee evolution, Detection, I love that concept a lot. And then here I'm back drawing my guys. You know I love to draw my guys. Lots of just like topless white guys. I don't know. I love this little alien that I drew. I really should think more about that alien. Here he is again. I love this little doodle. Sometimes I'll just draw something and I'll just like not really think much of it until I come back to the sketchbook and I look at it like weeks later and I'm like, oh, this is actually a really cute little drawing. Okay, here we get into a character that I'd love to introduce to everyone. This is my little mascot character for my universe, let's say. He's a fashionable little warrior dog who goes around saving all the characters in my universe. He's the little hero. I heard from my professor I draw too fast, and I try to work on that, and he's like, you could really benefit if you just drew slower. But sometimes when I'm listening to music, I remember I was listening to very fast-paced music when I was drawing this, and I needed to just get the ideas down. Yet another concept for another story that I have. It's very cryptic when you see it like this, but I know exactly what's going on. It's kind of like note-taking, if that makes sense. I'll be like, oh, this is a good idea, and then I'll like draw it instead of like writing down a note. Here we have some more artwork of my little dog character. I have yet to name him. I was thinking of naming him Halo, just because he gives that ethereal vibe. But I'm still thinking about what to name him. Yes, he's very fun to draw. I was in a park with my friend, and so here were some of the park goers. This guy was eating a massive sandwich. I loved this guy's getup, and this guy had horrible posture, just like me. I was trying to come up with an enemy for my dog character. This is one idea that I had. Probably go into a little more depth with that later. And then I'm getting into my Fakemon phase here. So these are all Fakemon concepts. More Fakemon concepts here. I saw a worm after it rained when I was walking. And I was like, I'm gonna draw a Fakemon based on that. Here's some references. I hadn't drawn observationally in a while, and I wanted to touch up on my anatomy. So I found that picture, if anyone's familiar, of all the athletes lined up in their different body types. I think that's a great reference photo if you want to like practice diversity in body types. It was a very great practice. More just random little doodles. This is actually so cute. I'm just noticing this now. I don't even remember drawing things sometimes. I'm just like watching something on TV and just like drawing, but then I'll come back and I'll be like, oh my god, this is so cute. And we're reaching the end. It's almost getting to the end. Ziggy was just sleeping and I drew him. It was very sweet. Dogs are hard to draw because it's hard to get their expressions and their faces down because they're all unique. But I like how this drawing came out. It's very cute. It reminds me of how cozy he was in my bed. Nothing special here. I was trying to do some practice for costumes. I think this was from quickposes.com. This is my water starter that I came up with and his evolution. Super cute. And this is the penultimate page. I was kind of ready to move on from the sketchbook, not gonna lie. It's very rare that I finish a sketchbook cover to cover, but I wanted to do it with this one. A lot of my sketchbooks, like the last 20 or 10 pages are just blank. And a lot of artists have this same problem, but I don't think it's that big of a deal if you want to just move on from a sketchbook. I say just do it. Because with this sketchbook, I had so much association with like old, like a year ago version of me. Sometimes there's just feelings associated with certain material objects that we just want to archive and move on from. And here we have the last page, the very last page, y'all. And I ended up just drawing like a little doodle of myself. And I drew Simba as well. Cute little Simba, just right there. Yeah, so I just drew Simba for my last page, which is a nice way to wrap everything up. So, with that, we're done with the sketchbook, y'all. We finished. This is probably one of my favorite sketchbooks of all time. I'm gonna have to say that. It's been through so much. It's been through a lot of moves. It's been through when I was in Japan, when I was in Seattle, when I was in California. I've brought the sketchbook everywhere. There was a lot of growth as an artist through this sketchbook. And as you can see, so much art block that I had to overcome that I documented through this sketchbook. Lots of really amazing ideas that started in this book as well. And I just really love it. It's like one of my most prized possessions now. What did I learn from this sketchbook? This sketchbook taught me that I'm not always gonna be drawing like super cool and amazing things, and that's okay. I think sketchbooks are meant to be liberating and freeing and something that you can just not feel pressure in. I didn't want the pressure of, okay, I need to make every page look pretty for the video. I just wanted to be able to open this and like express myself. I didn't want to feel pressure with sketchbook. So with all that said, I'm really gonna try to get back into videos centering around making artwork. So if you have any questions about any of my characters or any of my methods, please leave a comment. I'm happy to answer. I had so much fun filming this video, so I hope you enjoyed it too. And look out for some merchandise in the future, okay? Also on this channel, I like to draw live, so make sure you hit a notification button so that you'll get notified when I'm live. If you ever draw anything as well, like please just tag me, and I just love to look at people's art, so post it on Instagram and tag me. I hope I inspired you to draw, or I helped you be creative, or I gave you a good laugh today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!